Today I'm going to be sharing my book cart, which is here. Let me show you. So it has 3 shelves. I'll show my stickers too, because that's very important. So now you've seen most of the book cart. I'm gonna move the camera this way. I am sitting on the floor because it's easier. Luna is behind me sleeping. She's so cute. I think I will have some clips opening the video with me making a tea. I definitely need one today, especially because I am a little bit under the weather. You can probably tell by my voice. I did work today. I work from home, so it's easy. Pretty easy, at least most of the time, to just keep working, even if you don't feel that well. So what I'm gonna do, I will show you my entire book cart. I might move it back a little bit more. Okay. I feel like you can see all this. So for this video, what I'm gonna do is just go through sort of like my favorites or the most interesting books I feel like are on each shelf, because it would just take so long to go through each and every book. But if you want to see my full collections, just tell me and I can do videos showing either my Fear Street books, Christopher Pike books, and I also have a lot of Stephen King books that are not on my book cart, but that's another collection that I can share. So on my top shelf, it's mostly R.L. Stine. Definitely the front and the top. Well, yeah, no. I knew as soon as I said that there would be one that's not R.L. Stine, at least. But yeah, the top overall is mostly R.L. Stine, Fear Street, and the back row has some other authors. The first one is Silent Night. I read this one. I think it's really fun. I think it's one of the best Fear Streets in my opinion. I have not read all of them. I haven't read that many of them, really. There are so many. But I do really recommend this one if you want to get started in Fear Street, and it is like Christmas-y themed, but you can read it any time of the year. Riva is the main character, and she is just one of the worst people to exist, and it's like a funny brat. She sucks. And then I just recently read The Prom Queen because of the new movie that's coming out on Netflix, and I thought it was fun. I really liked it. I'll read the back of the book because the descriptions of these books are fun to me. Dance of Death. A spring night, soft moonlight, 5 beautiful prom queen candidates, dancing couples at the Shady Side High Prom. These should be the ingredients for romance, but stir in one brutal murder, then another, and another, and the recipe quickly turns to horror. Lizzie McVeigh realizes that someone is murdering the 5 prom queen candidates one by one, and that she may be next on the list. Can she stop the murderer before the dance is over? For good? Something else cool about this one, it has a school pass in it from 2006. That's always fun with these like older books. The stuff you find in them can be fun. The Wrong Number, this is an iconic cover. I have not read this one yet, but I will. Then I have the 4 cheerleaders books. I think there's one more that I don't have. I've read the first one. It's really good. It's another one like Silent Night that I recommend for new people and people that just want to read what I think are one of the better Fear Streets. The characters are good. The plot is good. The deaths are insane. So I'll read the back of this one too. Newcomers Corky and Bobby Corcoran want more than anything to make the cheerleading squad at Shadyside High. But as soon as the Corcoran sisters are named to the team, terrible things happen to the cheerleaders. The horror starts with a mysterious accident near the Fear Street Cemetery. Soon after, piercing screams echo through the empty school halls, and then the ghastly murders begin. Can Corky and Bobby stop the killer before the entire cheerleading squad is destroyed? So yeah, definitely recommend this one. And then I have not read any of the others. I think I've listened to the Teen Creeps episodes of the second one and maybe the third one. This one I don't know. This one has Santa on the cover. Now this is one I have not read. The first Scream, Fear Park, the first Scream. This is one I definitely want to read. I really like the cover. I think it's fun. It makes me think of summer. So I think this will be a fun one that I'll probably read this summer, hopefully. I forgot to read the back of this one. Get your ticket for terror. Would you open an amusement park on Fear Street? Would you take the risk and go against the ancient curse of the Fear family? Deidre Bradley's father would. He is opening Fear Park in a few days, but he doesn't know someone or something will do anything to stop him. Soon the screams of joy will turn to screams of terror, and Deidre will be caught in a nightmare ride that never ends. Fun. And this one I did read. I'll read the back of this one. Help. Wanted. Summer at the beach and Amanda Conklin stuck in summer school. Well, at least she doesn't have to take care of her little brother and sister. That's Chrissy's job. Chrissy seems like the perfect babysitter, so kind and trustworthy. But Amanda soon discovers Chrissy's terrible secret. Babysitting is Chrissy's job, but killing is what she does best. I read this one a little bit ago, so I don't fully remember everything. But I do remember thinking it was fun, and Chrissy is an interesting character. These are 2 more that I really like the covers and think they'd be fun for summer that I have not read. So that's the entire top shelf. Some other authors I have on that shelf that are not R.L. Stine. Show some of their books. I have some Richie Tinkersley Cusick. Also Richie Tinkersley Cusick. Diane Ho. Caroline B. Cooney. A. Bates. I think this is possibly my only Lois Duncan. I think definitely one of the more well-known Lois Duncan books. Killing Mr. Griffin. I haven't read yet. This is the only V.C. Andrews book I own, I think. But I always see these at used bookstores and like half-price books. So I will one day probably start collecting more of her books. The back's pretty fun, creepy. I have the novelized edition of My Girl. This is a movie I watched a lot as a kid. It's so sad. I haven't read this, but I did have to get it when I saw it. Probably at a half-price books. So I'm gonna put the books back on the first shelf, and then I'll come back and move on to the second shelf. So the next shelf is my mostly Christopher Pike shelf. If you hear dogs walking around in the background, it's because Dudley got kicked out of the bedroom. He was not listening. No, there's a Dudley. He's mad he had to leave the bedroom. So the first book from my Christopher Pike shelf I want to talk about is actually the first Christopher Pike book I've read is Monster. I'll read the back of this one too. It is probably / definitely my favorite Christopher Pike book. She said she killed them because they were monsters. I always look at the camera. Mary Carlson walked into the party with a loaded shotgun. In the blink of an eye, she blew 2 people away. She wanted to kill more, but was stopped by her best friend, Angela Warner, and the police. The next day, when Angela visits Mary at the jail, she asks why she did it. Mary responds, because they were no longer human. Angela thinks she's crazy, at first, until she probes deeper into Mary's claims and discovers a horror so unimaginable that she thinks she is going crazy. She even gets to the point where she wonders if she should have let Mary keep on killing, while there was still time to stop the thing from spreading. The very old thing, the hungry thing. So I would describe Christopher Pike books as a level above, like, most Fear Street books, I feel like. I think the writing is a bit better, the characters are a bit more interesting, the stakes are higher. So if you are wanting to read like these YA 80s, 90s horror books, and you want something maybe a little bit more mature than like R.L. Stine or some of the other books, Christopher Pike is really, really good. This book freaked me out when I read it. I really liked it. It's one of my favorite books just in general. I think it's really good, and even though it's YA, I feel like it's very mature in its themes, and it'll creep you out, I think, more than even a lot of the adult books I've read. So that is Christopher Pike's Monster. The next one, I also have Give Me a Kiss, which I've read. I liked this one. I thought it was fun. It's quite a bit shorter than some of his other books, and including Monster. So if you want a bit of a quicker read, it's about, I'll read the back of this one too. Some secrets are worth dying for. Jane Retton would never let anyone read her diary. After all, it was filled with her wildest secrets, the sort of things she wouldn't even tell her closest friends. Then something terrible happened. Somehow her diary ended up at school, and soon everyone was reading her final shocking entry. Some girls would simply die, others would kill, but Jane Retton, she would do both. So this one, I think, is a little bit on the lighter side compared to like Monster. It's a little bit more like regular high school drama, like the diary getting out. But it's still an interesting plot and is a little bit more complex than other YA books like this. So I definitely enjoyed this and I liked it. The next book, and is my second favorite Christopher Pike book that I've read, is Remember Me. I really love this cover too. And this one is really, really good. It could one day possibly be my favorite, but Monster just freaked me out and stuck with me so much that I just consider it my number one. So Remember Me. She did not understand that she was dead. When Sherry Cooper awoke at home after being at her girlfriend's birthday party, her family acted like she wasn't there. They didn't hear a thing she said. They wouldn't even look at her. Then the call came from the hospital. Her father and brother paled. Her mother started to cry. Sherry didn't know what was wrong, not until she followed them to the hospital. There she found herself lying on a cold slab in the morgue. The police said it was a suicide. Sherry knew she had been murdered. Making a vow to herself to find her killer, Sherry embarks on the strangest of all criminal investigations, one in which she spies... Luna. No. Making a vow to herself to find her killer, Sherry embarks on the strangest of all criminal investigations, one in which she spies on her old friends and even enters their dreams, where she comes face to face with a nightmare from beyond the grave. The shadow, a thing more horrible than death itself. The key to Sherry's death. The only thing that can stop her murderer from murdering again. This one was good, and it has a little bit more of a... It deals with, like, death and life and suicide, and it has a little bit of a romantic aspect. So in those ways, it's different from Monster, I would say. But yeah, this one I think is a good, like, in between of these. This one I would say is like the darkest and the most, like, scarring. It's like the one that'll, at least for me, it's the one that stuck with me because of its darkness. And then this one did have dark elements, but it also had some of the lighter sides of, like, YA books. And then this one, still, because it's like a horror thriller, has dark themes, but it was a little bit more on the lighter side. But yeah, I've read a couple more Christopher Pike books. I think I'll just show like a few more of them and some of the other books I have on the shelf by other authors. The Starlight Crystal is a really fun cover and is one I would like to read soon. Spellbound I've read and I liked it, and I really want to read The Last Vampire. I just love this cover, and it's a series. So I have the second one. It is ripped, which is sad, but it's still cool. Something about that is very Buffy. And I have the third. I'm missing at least the third in The Last Vampire, and then I have the fourth. No, Luna. I have the fourth and the fifth. Bury Me Deep is a good cover that I have not read. Then I have a few of these old Agatha Christie books. Copies of them. I'll show a couple. I have read Halloween Party. I liked it. Halloween Party I thought was interesting because, like, a child is murdered, which you don't see very often, I feel like. And it's funny because she's kind of an outspoken, loud child, so a lot of the adults in the book are, some of them are like, well, she deserved it. There's a couple more Agatha Christie I forgot about. Death on the Nile is one of my favorite Agatha Christie's. I read this one. Ordeal by Innocence. Passenger to Frankfurt. And then just some other cool ones I have. This edition of The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells. Scarlet Letter, which I have not read. Need to read. Thank you, Luna. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Jurassic Park. I keep this one purely for the cover. Mystery Cats. Maybe I'll read it one day. Silence of the Lambs. I have not read. Love the movie. It's one of my favorite movies. The Phantom of the Opera. I have to read it soon. I have to. And then I have a couple Buffy books. I think these are the only two I have right now. I think I have a copy, or no, I do have a copy of the Sunnydale High yearbook, so that's fun. But I'm a big Buffy fan. Love it. I don't have many of these books, but I think they're fun. But yeah, so I will put everything back on the second shelf. I just let the dogs out to go potty. The last and final shelf, I'll probably go through the quickest because they're mostly just like the books on my TBR. More recent releases. Here I have some books. The Devil's Highway, and Indigenous Peoples' History of the United States, and Lies My Teacher Told Me. I got these books because, well, if you live in the US or you keep up with news in the US, you know things are weird right now, to say the least. So why not try to stay more informed? One Dark Window, I've heard so many good things about. I cannot wait to read this. I've heard people that like horror like it, people that like fantasy like it. I think I'm really gonna like it. So this is one that I plan on reading soon. Raising Demons by Shirley Jackson. This one's fun. It's if you aren't familiar with Shirley Jackson, she wrote The Haunting of Hill House, We Have Always Lived in the Castle, and a lot of other books, short stories. But she also wrote these books that are just like about her family life and when she has kids and them growing up. And I read the first one. What's it called? I'm trying to find it on my shelf. I can't find it. I'll insert it here somewhere. But it's really good. It's just like these charming, nice, sweet, silly stories about Shirley Jackson, her husband, and their 3 kids. And then at the end of the first one, I think she has another baby. So this one is 4 kids. It's called Raising Demons. So yeah, it's just like a fun, silly way of a mom talking about her kids and her family, and it's just, it was a really pleasant book to read, so I do look forward to this one. This one, Lonesome Dove, is a Western. Never read a Western, but this was recommended by Books Are Sick, I think on YouTube and Instagram. I follow him on Instagram, and I really like his recommendations. He likes Stephen King, so I respect that, obviously. But he recommends this book, and it's very highly rated. It is thick. I am looking forward to this one just because it does sound very good, and just what I've heard about it, it's very much worth the time it takes to read it. Dracula is a classic I haven't read, and I just love this cover. Wuthering Heights is a book I tried to read a few years ago, and I just wasn't in the right headspace for it, so I stopped. But I really hope it's one I will enjoy. I've heard, mixed things, people's reaction, but mostly positive, and I think I will like it. The writing is definitely very different. Think about the time it was written in. But yeah, I'm really interested in gothic stories, so I really look forward to this one. Never read an Anne Rule book, so I did get these a little while ago, The Stranger Beside Me and Small Sacrifices. So these are books I definitely want to check out soon too. True crime, you have to be in the right headspace for it. It's just so dark and sad. I let the dogs back in, so if you hear them going nuts, that's why. The next, classic horror book I have to read is The Exorcist. I have not seen the movie, and I've never read the book, so that is shameful as a horror fan. Another book I've heard so many good things about is Our Share of Night by Mariana Enriquez. It's about a father and son. They are on a road trip, devastated of the death of the wife and mother they both loved. United in grief, the pair travel to her ancestral home, where they must confront the terrifying legacy she has bequeathed, a family called the Order that commits unspeakable acts in search of immortality. So that sounds nuts. Really, really looking forward to this one. So the next book that I have to read is Summer of Night by Dan Simmons. I just love this cover. I've heard that this, if you like it, which I do very much, that this book has similar vibes. It's set in the summer of 1960. The 6th grade boys of Elm Haven, Illinois are forging the powerful magical bonds that a lifetime of growth and loss will never erase. Amid the sun-drenched cornfields and the sly flirtations of the town's young girls, that loyalty will be pitilessly tested. From the silent depths of the old central school, a hulking fortress tinged with the mahogany scent of coffins, an invisible evil drifts outward, plunging Mike, Wayne, Dale, Harlan, and Kevin into a war without boundary or mercy, where an eternal enemy owns the night. So, that one is another good summer read. I also have this really cool edition of Psycho. Oh, hold on. Let me move this because it's blocking the sun. So cool. That's the back. I love Psycho. I have read the book. Love the movie. It's a very well-known story, but it's a very short book. So even if you've seen the movie, I think the book is worth reading. I will say the movie is very faithful to the book. So if you like that, then this is a good one to pick up. But yeah, I really like this film tie-in edition of this book. But yeah, that is all of the books on my book cart. All of the most interesting books, at least, I think. If you want, a more in-depth video of any of these collections, or any other book collections I have, just let me know. I can make some more videos about them. I just love collecting books, reading books, having a house full of books. So, yeah. I'll also just give a quick rundown of the stickers on my book cart. So here I have, obviously, based on the novel by Stephen King. How could I not have that sticker? And then I have this Cup of Stars, which is a reference to The Haunting of Hill House. Maybe if you've read the book, you know what that is in reference to. It's one of my favorite literary quotes of all time, so love this sticker, and I thought it was very fitting for my book cart. And then this one more chapter. I got all of these stickers off of Redbubble. I just love the little celestial theme. So I have this like cozy rainy window sticker. I really like it. It is a little big, so the bottom's like folded over, but I don't think it's that noticeable whenever you're not like looking directly at that one. And then I have this Goosebumps sticker. I loved Goosebumps so much as a kid. And then I have a picture of Jake Gyllenhaal, aka Donnie Darko. I'm reading Get Out. I love that movie. It might be one of my favorite movies. At the bottom I have Aggressively Drinks Coffee. That one's self-explanatory. A Sophia sticker with a knife. Yeah, I needed that. And then, which if you don't know Sophia, she's from the Golden Girls. And then there's a Mish. Hi, Misha. What you doing? Very focused. And I have Reading is Fundamental, which is from RuPaul's Drag Race. But yeah, that's it. That is my full book cart. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked the books and you think they're as fun as I do. If you like this video, please subscribe. This is a very new channel still, so I'm still getting used to it. But I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked it. And I will see you guys next time.